Greetings, folks. Joseph Kursky here, geographer with you. Let's talk about and illustrate what a geographer takes photographs of. What a geographer takes photographs of. Geographers think of transportation as connections, so bridges, tunnels, canals, and how the physical environment influences those connections, but also how connections are not just the physical thing, but bridging regions, bridging languages, bridging cultures. So geographers think about that when they think about transportation, how it affects people, but also how it has brought together people, and also how other things divide people, such as hills, mountains, desert landscapes, grasslands. How do they divide people? How do political borders, for example, divide people or unite people, as the case may be around the world? So they think about borders, they think about connections, they think holistically, they think about the interaction between the hydrosphere, the lithosphere, the anthrosphere, the human sphere, the cryosphere, the ice sphere, the atmosphere, the biosphere, and how all those spheres intersect and interact. It's a complex world that we live in. It's a fascinating world. Look at this huge paper cup. Look at this stadium. It's a fascinating world. It's being modified by 7.5 billion people. We've got glaciation, we've got erosion, we've got water acting on the surface, we've got solar energy acting upon our surface, we've got various plants and animals interacting and modifying the surface as well. So the Earth is a dynamic planet. It's much more fascinating than being on Mercury or Mars. As fascinating as those places are. Geographers are all about cultural experiences too, music, art, language, religion, spiritual beliefs, etc. And geographers are highly in demand in today's complex world to make smarter, wiser decisions to build a more sustainable future. How do we maintain supply chains? How do we maintain sustainable energy, sustainable water, sustainable food production, agriculture, etc.? How do we recognize the past? How do we plan for the future? How do we live in the present most effectively so that we can make a positive difference in our world with the people that we interact with? How do we observe faraway places? For example, at the Green Bank Observatory, West Virginia, I was there, fascinating place. So geographers are all about near and far connections. Some of these connections are invisible, like radio waves and cultural ties and so on, and some of them are physical connections, waterways, railroads, cable lines, etc., roads. So geographers are all about looking at even still life, things that don't move, but also things that move, airplanes, rivers, waterfalls, cultural connections. These are dynamic forces. How do we name things on the landscape? That's a big part of geography. Toponyms, names on the landscape. How do we display art and creative works of various kinds on the landscape? How do we protect natural and plant features? How do we educate ourselves through universities, colleges, libraries, museums, schools? How do we make a difference in those educational institutions? So geographers are all about historical prison right there, but about modification of the landscape in various ways and thinking creatively and thoughtfully about a sustainable future for all of us. That is what geography is. It's geo, Earth, graph, describe or write about the Earth. Lake Superior, Duluth, Minnesota here, some scenes from Enger Park and the Tower. And this bell that was donated from Japan. Why is that bell from Japan in Duluth? How do we use geographic technologies? Use spatial at University of Minnesota, Duluth. How do we use geographic technologies to understand, model, and plan for a more resilient future? Ask questions about what's going on the landscape, human and natural landscapes. What's where, why is it there, and why should we care? And how can we build a better future? Thanks.